You're watching Celtic Fans TV. Please don't forget to click subscribe below. What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. Full-time reaction to Celtic 4, Kilmarnock 0. Great start to the season for us, Darren. I thought we played some brilliant stuff today from start to finish.
Well, I hope all the games for the rest of the season are as easy as that, but I don't think they will be. Obviously, we've been in tremendous pre-season form, and I think with Kilmarnock playing, I think it was Thursday there in the European qualifier, it was always going to be a struggle for them, given that we've had plenty of rest and stuff. But take nothing away from us, I thought we were brilliant, even from the start. There was games last season, in particular here, that we would complain that the tempo was there, and in the final third it was just not quick enough to break down teams who were playing a low block. Today I thought it was just very fast, very fluent, little triangle, one-touch passing, the movement off the ball, forcing defenders out of position. Kilmarnock just couldn't live with it. And then a great start, 15 however many minutes in, Reo Hatate, he was brilliant in his role in the midfield and his passing, and getting to the edge of the box, you were screaming for him to shoot, and you were always going to know that it was going to be on target, and it was a great finish. And I checked the stats there at full time, and it was 82% possession. And I know we have high standards of keeping the ball at Celtic Park, but even for our high standards, 82% is fantastic. 32 shots to Kilmarnock's 7, I think it was, and that pretty much tells the story that even though it was 4-0, it could have been 6 or 7, but we're obviously happy at 4-0. I think I was going to put a bet on for 4-0 and I never, but oh well. Even as well, for two defenders, I think to score is pretty rare for Celtic. Even we don't score many goals from corners. Brilliant header from Liam Scales, and that puts us in half-time 2-0 up, and I think most of us were very comfortable that we were going to build on that in the second half, and I think we just kept going from that. Kuhn, brilliant run from him. I thought he was really good at again the day. Kuhn, to get his start as well. I think he's probably going to nail down that starting position for a while. I know realistically, in fact, even Forrest playing on the left-hand side as well. I know we don't see that often, but I thought him cutting in a lot on his right side. I would actually like to see him play more there, and even with Kuhn on the right-hand side, he's left-footed as well. So if you get 2 wingers who can cut inside, I think that will be really good to go for. And then, obviously at the end, Ralston scored his first goal, and I think a couple of years that would be good for him. I know he doesn't play well. I was happy to see Johnston start. I know when you were starting to have a prediction, you weren't sure if he was going to start, but I thought he'd done well, and I know he's done a lot of travelling, so it makes sense to take him off at 70 minutes or whatever. So all in a very, very good start to the season. I hope we can build on that.
Aye, absolutely, Martin. We were hoping this pre-season form would translate into the domestic football, even though we know teams set up differently against us at home in the league. But I thought for the word goal, you could tell it was a really good intensity to play, even against the ball. I mean, we'd penned Kilmarnock in for much of that first half, but you could tell anytime Kilmarnock were getting up the pitch, everywhere we were all over them. The position off the ball, the work rate was really good. I just thought it was a marked difference to some of the games we watched last season.
I thought it was a real sharpness across all the players in the team. From the word goal, even in the warm-up and the build-up coming out the huddle, it just looked like there was a determination, an intensity, a desire, a freshness. You had our best personnel available, I suppose you could argue as well, which always helps, but it just looked like everybody wanted a shot at the ball when they got the ball, consistently making the right decision as well. One of the things that I thought happened quite a lot, particularly in the second half, was the clever long ball, which you don't always see us doing that, but playing it down the flanks. And it must have been something they're working on in training, because you could see, all the players were aligned, and not just was it a clever pass, but the player knew it was coming. So probably a handful of times in the second half. There was one in particular, I think it was Kyogo, when he played the reverse pass. It was one of the best passes in the game. But just all over the park, I thought it was a sharpness, and everybody wanted the ball, and they were doing the right thing with the ball as well. So you do sometimes get that at the start of the season, where Darren talked about Kilmarnock having that midweek game. I'm sure it will come, and we've got midweek games that you see sometimes a bit of staleness, but it wasn't the case today. That was the champions on flag day at their very, very best, and all the players looking like they want to be here. Hopefully that is the case in a month's time. But I was really impressed today. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, talking about that intensity off the ball, Darren, the first goal actually comes from, we lose it, but Matt O'Reilly's all over the defender, wins it back, Taylor, nice ball into Hatate, and it's 1-0. And I thought across the midfield we played really, really well today. Hatate gets man of the match, but I thought O'Reilly was brilliant as well. Some of that passing in the second half was just absolutely incredible. So many chances in the game as well. Kyogo doesn't get a goal today, but he's a great touch in the first half, and then dinks it over McCrory, and Kilmarnock managed to clear it off the line. He's one ruled out, and there's a contentious penalty shout against him as well. So he was really involved today, which again we didn't see a lot last season. so many encouraging signs all over the pitch.
Well, you talked at the start there about winning the ball back from the high press. That's one thing that I noticed kind of in the first 15 minutes, that even when Kilmarnock had the ball in their back four, everyone as a group were pressing up together, and I even thought that's why Kilmarnock only had 7 shots in the game. I think Kasper Schmeichel had 2 saves to make, but like you said to me at the beginning, off camera, you could have threw his cap on them and it wasn't really tested, and that was probably credit to the outfield team as well. Kyogo, you mentioned there, I thought it was in the game, he linked up well. I thought with the midfield, it was coming deep, and I thought last season we kind of not criticised him, but we talked a lot about him coming deep, and then it took him away from the goal scoring areas. But today, even when he was coming deep, the main thing was, as you said, he was getting involved, and although he didn't really, he had a few chances, but in particular, I think he had the one at the end, which obviously led to the Ralston goal. He had a few in the first half that I can't really think of right in this moment. But even if he's like, I'm going maybe a wee bit off topic here, but when he's not in the game getting chances like that, that's kind of when you would look to the bench and bring on a second striker. I'm sure we'll get one, but I was actually expecting Mikey Johnson to come on up front at some point. I was surprised that Kyogo got the whole 90 minutes, because when you're comfortably winning a game, you tend to take your best players off and rest them. But I'm sure, like, just the midfield getting involved, scoring goals, the defence scoring goals. Usually a lot we relied on Kyogo getting his goals, not last season but the season before we really relied heavily on him scoring. Last season was a wee bit different. This season I hope the wingers can get a bit more involved. We're getting goals now from Hatate. O'Reilly never scored today, but he scored a hell of a lot of goals last season. Where he's going to play, we've talked about that in the pre-season build-up, we'll not talk about that today, but we're getting goals from other areas of the park now, and even if Kyogo is taking himself out of those goal-scoring areas, at least we can get goals from other areas of the park as well. Yeah,
he actually went right up the tunnel at full-time, Kyogo. Don't know what's wrong there, if he's picked up a knock or just wasn't maybe unhappy that he didn't go on the score sheet, Martin. We saw a debut for Kasper Schmeichel. Somebody asked him during the week, how do you feel about some of the domestic games? Probably a different challenge for you, because you just need to stay concentrated, you're not involved a lot. That was the case today. He said those are the best games for a goalkeeper. I'm only there if I'm needed. Not too much to do, but I thought again you could see that difference in the zip in his passing, and he's actually willing to take those risks and play it straight in front of him into midfield, into McGregor, into Hatate, and it just helps us get out a bit quicker.
I listened to, I think he mentioned it twice in the interview, didn't he, and just emphasised the point. One of the things I liked was when he ran on the pitch, I just thought he had a presence. I just felt good watching him running on the pitch. I don't know what it is, but sometimes people just have a bit of an aura about them, and I think he's got that. His celebration for the first goal, I looked over, I don't know why I did, but I looked over
I did that as well, saw that, fist pumping.
He did, he looked really pleased to be. I think his dad was here today as well.
Yeah, he was.
Again, great that he's as excited as we are and wanted to be here for his debut. I just think it's like any sport, it's all about confidence, and just now there's a lot of confidence in that team and that squad. And Darren said about the pre-season and the feel-good factor, and I think the players are out there feeling really good. I wonder whether Brendan's kept Kyogo on, maybe just to get that early goal, because as a striker you want to get an early goal in the early part of the season and not go 3, 4, 5 games. While the going's good, just keep him on, get his goal. There's a real swagger about the team, and when you're playing with confidence, you've got your best personnel available. When you think, look, we should be going out and winning these games, and there's a feel-good factor amongst the fans and the players. After that, it's just about application, isn't it? And today the application was there, the intensity was there, the desire was there, and I don't think this is a team that will be complacent or take things for granted. You can see there's a good work ethic in that team, and some of that comes from your Hatates and your Kyogos and Maedas that have it's inherent, isn't it? It's in their culture and their DNA. They just work hard regardless of circumstances. But that appears to be the case all over the team today. And Darren said earlier about Ralston, the desire here to go and get that goal at the end, and how happy he was when he scored. Obviously he doesn't score too often, but there's a real intensity, a confidence and a desire about that group of players right now. And I know it's only the first game, but let's hope that we can keep that going and get a bit of momentum, avoid injuries, keep the players that we've got, and maybe bring in another couple of players. Yeah, absolutely. Darren, Kilmarnock didn't obviously offer very much going forward, but I thought whatever they did offer in terms of the breaks in the second half, we just shut it down. Carter Vickers stifled a few attacks, just showing his strength, reading the game, getting in front of bodies, shielding the ball out. So again, that intensity and application was there in the defence as well, and I thought Carter Vickers particularly was a standout. I was having a discussion with somebody at half-time, and we were talking about Carter Vickers and the fact that Kilmarnock had Kyle Vassell up front, who's a big unit of a boy. So it's also a real physical battle, and they'll be looking for those long balls into him to try and take it down. But like you say, Carter Vickers, we set the highest of standards for him, and the main thing is he's so consistent. I've rarely, if ever, seen Carter Vickers have a bad game.
and actually noticed that not in the second half, towards the end of the first half, they actually moved Kyle Vassell over to Liam Scales' side, just because they knew that he was just so physical, and he's almost like the leader of that defence. And there was times last season where he was out, and you almost felt like the defence was not lost, but like leaderless at the back. It's almost like he gives those around him that confidence that he's there. He's just all over the entire situation, and it almost feels like it's too. We said this about Van Dijk a few years ago, that sometimes he feels too good for this league. Us being biased as Celtic fans just saying no, he's just our player and he's great every game and we love him, but sometimes you do feel like that he is just you never see him like flustered or stressed, or he always just looks so calm, so composed. It's like he's reading the game, he's one step ahead. He is a top class defender, and for the fact that we only got him for 6-7 million from not playing at Tottenham and going out on loans to a team like Bournemouth, it was a real hidden gem that we got a player like that. There's been no transfer rumours that he's going to be leaving. I think we'll have him for this season, but I'm sure when we get to Europe we'll see him again do what he does, and I hope we can keep him, and I think he'll have a great season as long as he stays injury free, because I know he's had problems with his knee and hamstrings, so if he stays fit then I'm sure he'll be one of our best key players. Yeah, no doubt about that. Martin, lots of candidates for man of the match. Hatate got the sponsor. Who was it for you?
I think we've touched on Carter Vickers and the importance of him in the team, and Hatate, and for prolonged periods last year we never had those two. I think with those two in the team it gives you a great degree of confidence. I thought there was loads of candidates for man of the match today. I thought there was good players all over the pitch, but I did really enjoy watching Hatate. Hatate's best is almost always man of the match when we stand here most weeks. So for me, he got us the opening goal. He was involved in a lot of the clever passing, breaking up the play. Only the occasional stray pass. For me, Hatate was excellent. Yep, definitely him. Yeah, I'm going Hatate as well, Darren. Full house for Hatate. There you go. 4-0 with the champions. Like this video, comment your own thoughts in the game below. We'll see you very soon. Thank you.